right, everybody, welcome in. It's a brand new Sarah Fraser Show podcast. We are live on TikTok, my favorite thing to do simultaneously. I'm, of course, Sarah. Welcome to your daily pop culture podcast. Everybody on my TikTok, hit the hearts, share the pod. We have to talk about the Super Bowl. Was that the worst Super Bowl of all time? Obviously, the Eagles won. Honey, if you're an Eagles fan, you are so darn happy. But Kendrick Lamar, it is mixed reviews for our guy, Kendrick. Did you guys think Kendrick's halftime show was the best or the worst of all time? A lot of people thought it was horrendous. A lot of people didn't like the energy. So I'll say that. You know, everybody loved how he trolled Drake. Everyone liked that. But that short king, I don't know. Was he low energy? The best part to me was when Serena Williams came out. That was like when she was doing the crip dance, like that to me was the best. I have to say I'm team Drake in this whole thing. And I know people are always like, you can tell young people from old people based on if you're team Drake or team Kendrick, but I am team Drake. Like I don't know. I like Drake. Sandra says it's the worst of all time. But someone said by a lot of people like not liking it, you mean white conservatives. Someone says Team Drake. I love Serena and Kendrick. It wasn't bad. It wasn't the worst. I mean, it wasn't the greatest for me, but I don't know. Like I said, I'm not a big Kendrick fan. Sorry. I don't know. It didn't seem like it had a lot of energy, and did anyone understand? I know he wanted to mix the whole theme of it last night was kind of West Coast. I thought it was very patriotic, which was nice, I think. So he wanted to mix some West Coast with it, which was the low rider. And I think it was kind of like the whole set was more of a basketball court, right? Kind of like you're hanging out kind of a West Coast vibe. Anyhow, let me know what you think. But so very much getting mixed reviews. I was a huge fan of Jennifer Lopez and Shakira. I thought that was one of the best Super Bowl halftime shows in recent memory. I can't even tell you who performed last year. Who was last year's Super Bowl halftime show? I thought Gaga was one of the best. Beyonce was one of the best when she came out with Coldplay. Who else? I loved Shakira and J-Lo. I thought they were amazing. Like that to me was high energy. Who else did I love? I thought Katy Perry's was actually really, really great too. He needed to have someone else out with him. Well, SZA came out. You didn't like SZA? She was amazing to me. And Colleen says there was lots of, I know there was a lot of a lot of people are saying there was a lot of political messaging with Samuel L. Jackson coming out as Uncle Sam. You're right. Yeah. Oh, Usher was last year. Okay. And Usher was pretty good on the roller skates. That's right. Prince was pretty amazing. Okay, you're right. I don't know when you have I mean, Kendrick to me was as good as Usher was. I will say that. But I'm sorry. I'm not a big Kendrick fan. I wasn't like, okay, this is the best show of all time. Anyhow. So, getting mixed reviews. I also thought, what did you all think of the commercials last night? People are loving the Dunkin' commercial. People love singer Seal as a seal. Was that not, how much money did that man get paid, by the way, to to agree to have his image be a seal? Anyhow, but also, I didn't even think the commercials were all that great last night. The Tubi commercial was the Tubi commercial to me kind of got me. The Tubi commercial was the guy that had the cowboy hat, but it just looked like it was part of his skin. That one was so odd, but anyhow, very strange commercials last night and not particularly funny, I didn't think. And I loved the Martha Stewart in Skechers, and then they did like a terrible AI version of her dancing. Anyhow, the Bud Light one was really great though with Post Malone. I liked that, and I liked the Dunkin'. But again, like I didn't think the commercials were all that amazing. Okay, maybe it's because I didn't have a dog in the fight last night for the Super Bowl. I don't know. I didn't really, I'm not really an Eagles fan. I'm not a Chiefs fan. So maybe there you have it. Anyhow, oh, Stephanie Hoffman's here. Hey, girl, hey. For 8 million, not well spent. Oh, and did anybody get suckered in? Because Kanye West did a Super Bowl commercial and wanted you to go to Yeezy.com. Did you go to that? It's just all his merch. So there you have it. There was the Super Bowl. If you enjoyed it, Oh, Eugene Levy for Little Caesars was the best. Okay, Colleen, that's a good one. I don't know. Maybe I think I'm a fair weather fan of the Super Bowl. When my team is in it, back when I was a Pats fan and the Patriots were in it all the time, I loved it. Now I'm like, I could take it or leave it. Okay, let's move on to some other interesting tea that we have tonight because tomorrow is going to be another big day in the Justin Baldoni Blake Lively case. So on Monday, when a lot of you are listening to this podcast, when this podcast is out at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific, Justin Baldoni is doing his very first podcast since all of this drama has happened. Okay, since the lawsuits have happened, the whole thing. And he actually recorded this. It's on Gents Talk podcast. It's going to be released. He actually recorded this back in November of 2024. So if you recall, Blake Lively, that whole New York Times article wasn't leaked until December of 2024. But what did Justin Baldoni know when he recorded this podcast? So this might be the only kind of current interview that we have that we're hearing from Justin Baldoni. They're going to release it. Of course, I'm going to be listening and I'll have a whole bunch of feedback. The other thing is, Brian Friedman, Justin Baldoni's attorney, doesn't seem to be slowing down his media blitz because over the weekend, he was on Two Angry Men podcast. If you're thinking to yourself, Two Angry Men, who's this podcast? Harvey Levin from TMZ and Mark Garagos, the famous celebrity attorney, have a podcast. And Brian Friedman was on that podcast. Friedman says they want to go to trial. They have no intention of settling because Harvey Levin and Mark Garagos are like, dude, there's no way that Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively are going to trial. They're not going to let you depose Taylor Swift. Now, by the way, on the interview, Friedman would not say if in fact Taylor Swift would be deposed or not. He said that it would be a game day decision. So what do we think he means by that? Do we think that he, is intending? See, I think that he is intending to depose Taylor Swift, and they're going to use that in order to settle. But Brian Friedman told both of the men, because everybody's fascinated by this case, he told both the men that they have no intention of settling because how are you going to settle allegations of sexual harassment? How are you what are they gonna come out and say, like, are Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively just gonna come out and go, oh yeah, okay, no problem, we don't believe you're a sexual predator anymore, we're dropping this? So at least as of now, but maybe money talks, Brian Friedman is saying we have no intentions of settling because Harvey Levin, Mark Garagos are like Lively and Reynolds, their team have to be strategizing. They're never going to take this to trial. This was a power move. They wanted those rights to Colleen Hoover's books for their books, and they wanted to control and do a complete takeover of the movie. So as of now, I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. Maybe certainly with Brian Friedman, maybe that is always the tactic. We're not going to settle. We're not going to settle. If they're willing to do a statement and write a check, maybe suddenly everybody settles. So anyhow, and also very fascinating, I think this is why I do think that this case is going to be settled here in the next 6 months is because Brian Friedman continues to do press. So are they not listening to the warning from the judge? Very, very fascinating. So we are getting more information every single day. Also, Blake Lively supposedly this week will be amending her lawsuit. So we'll have all the latest on that. Okay. But there were some really fascinating updates over the weekend and more interviews. Let's go to Sister Wives. I love Sister Wives tea. You all know this. Couple of things coming out of the Sister Wives camp. First of all, did you see on Christine Brown Woolley's Instagram, she and David Woolley have purchased another Airbnb in Hurricane, Utah. Does anyone know where Hurricane, Utah is? Anybody know? Well, they have now purchased a second Airbnb. She also said that she was floating the idea of buying an Airbnb in North Carolina near Janelle. Doesn't look like she's done that. Of course, there's still time. She still could. She's making a lot of money. She's going to make a lot of money from that book. Okay, so Noli says that Hurricane Utah is by St. George on the border of Arizona. Is it beautiful there? I don't know. Why do you go to Hurricane? Well, now you can go to Hurricane and stay in another one of Christine and David's Airbnbs. And by the way, they were asking fans over the weekend, so you can still slide in her DMs for themes for the Airbnb. So you know how they had a theme with their whole the Moab Airbnb where they had the shrimp room and I think they had like the giraffe room or some full crazy thing. Well, now they want ideas and themes, whether it's ocean, they want it to maybe have like a coastal feel, like what you think the theme of their Airbnb should be. It should just be sister wives, not everywhere. Like do the entire I get that damn quilt that Mary had to like cut the t-shirts out. Like where are the remnants of that quilt? Like hang that on the wall. Like an ode to sister wives. That's what we want. Oh my God, Stephanie loves the shrimp room. Wasn't the shrimp room crazy? We never got to the bottom of what the shrimp room actually meant. Anyhow, I thought I just saw that Janelle just bought a house in North Carolina. She did. Stephanie, she bought the house and the property about a year ago. Noel says, I used to live near Hurricane. Yes, it's dope. Don't go in the summertime though, you will burn. And someone else said that it's near, is it near Zion National Park? So there you go. Jovi says the Super Bowl game was awesome. Jovi, you must be an Eagles fan, right? I think if you're from the Philadelphia area, it was amazing. I don't know. I was actually shocked that the Chiefs got blown out as hard as they did, but I don't know. I wasn't impressed anymore. Maybe I'm just not a Super Bowl girly anymore. The other big Sister Wives tea that fans are talking about is, do we feel that there's been a lot of foreshadowing and innuendo with Robyn bringing up the fact that she still wants to be in polygamy? So is Robyn basically laying the groundwork for a spinoff where Cody and Robyn would attempt to live polygamy, even if they're really never going to take on another wife? So fans have been having this online debate. And one Redditor, Bird Mom, says, okay, the spinoff will be Cody and Robyn looking for a new wife for Cody. Hear me out. Robyn has asked Cody multiple times this season if he's sure he's done with polygamy and has indicated numerous times that he should keep trying. This includes once again asking him in the preview for the next episode after the mid-season break. Meanwhile, the kids seem less and less interested in being involved with the show, except Robyn's kids, and their mothers too seem to be moving on and wrapping up. Each mom has established a new income stream. I think season 20 will be the last for everybody, but Cody and Robyn will spin off into a new show where he is looking for a new wife at the request of Robyn to keep the TLC money coming in. Anyway, okay, do we think there could be any truth to this? Because I actually think, I don't know, I kind of think this, does this have legs? I don't know, because my only thing about this show is this show going to, are we going to be able to keep watching this in the same way when now Mary, Janelle, Christine all live in separate states? They don't really interact much. I mean, even Janelle and Christine were on the Rogue Energy podcast interviewing each other, and they were saying like, they only get together now once a year, maybe. So how is that going to work? I mean, this actually does seem like an interesting concept because Robyn and Cody's kids do seem to want to be on TV while no one else does. Somebody else said, the Vegas girl says, I don't think that Robyn actually likes him now that he's there all the time. It was fun when they were younger, and she was the skinny wife, but now she's boring, married for 10 years. He's not nice to women once he's bored with them, and she's probably having a hard time understanding why he's so mean to her all of a sudden. Somebody else says that there's no way these two would ever get a spinoff. Cody just doesn't have the balls to put an end to her talk about adding plural wives. If he would get firm with her, she might get the message, or then again, she would turn on the waterworks and just be sobbing. I'm just going to say the reality. For his entire adult life, Cody has indulged in whatever would make his stick wet. Now that he can't keep up anymore, all of a sudden he is fine with monogamy. Look, his younger self would have never been fine with that. He would be He'd be using getting to heaven as an excuse to find more women if he was dumped. He's now old and financially set for the years for him and Robyn being, financial abusers. They've ended up coming up on top. So now he's done with the polygamy game. Okay, well, it sounds like people are pretty mixed on if these two could have a spinoff, but I would love to see that. I think the show needs an element of polygamy to carry on. I do. Now, are they going to get that? I don't think so. Arctic says there's a lawsuit to film. Oh, I wish they were filming that lawsuit, but we're never going to see that lawsuit. And if you're not familiar with the lawsuit, it's basically Christine is suing Kody for child support and over custody of Truly for them to have 50-50 custody, but they're never going to show it. TLC never shows any of the legal issues that these people have, which is the most interesting part. Kim Plath got a DUI from Welcome to Plathroom. They never filmed it. Amy Slayton got bit by a camel, was high on the garden mushrooms at a safari park in Tennessee. Boom. They never showed it. So I would love to see a spinoff. That would be so great if that happened. I like it. I'm here for it. I want to see more and more of that. But fans have mixed reviews if, in fact, we actually will get there. Okay, before we talk about the American woman in Pakistan, which I've become obsessed with this story, but I have breaking news from tonight. Well, from today. She's on her way back here. She's back in the United States. No! What happened, Pakistani woman? I thought you were going to stay there and demand money. Come on, girl. Okay, before that, though, I do want to tell you, if you have always had a desire to have your own podcast, if you want to have your voice, your brand heard, I am now sharing my 8 years of podcast experience and success with you. I have 3 courses at gobigpodcasting.com. And because we don't know the future of TikTok, I'm extending the 20% off TikTok code for the month of February. It's also Valentine's Day coming up with your gals, Galentines. Maybe you've always been thinking you and your girlfriend should start a podcast. TikTok 20 is the 20% off all of my courses. I have 3: Podcasting for Pros, Go Big, Podcasting 101, Podcasting for Pros, and Six-Figure Master Plan. So all are 20% off. Six-Figure Master Plan is $900, but of course, with the discount, you're now under $800. And it's such a terrific course. It shows you everything there, from how to start your podcast, how to instantly monetize, how to grow, how to land big name guests. These are all major issues that podcasters can't figure out, and oftentimes people end up quitting. So if you're listening to this and you've always thought about it, or maybe you work for a company, maybe you know a high performance woman who in her field, whether she's an author or she's a CEO or she's a small business owner that's killing it and she needs her voice out there, go bigpodcasting.com and use the promo code this entire month, TikTok20. TikTok is most likely going away at some point. So you need a podcast that nobody can take away from you. Okay, Ohana, I'm obsessed with this woman, the American woman in Pakistan who went over there. If you haven't heard the clips, I'm going to play one for you. They're so good. Ohana Andrew Robinson, also known as the American woman in Pakistan, is now on her way back to the United States. No. Well, it's true. She is leaving the country. In a statement to the outlet, South Deputy Inspector General of the police there said that she left for the airport from JPMC. They didn't comment specifically on Robinson's travel schedule, but she was provided her ticket by the U.S. government that listed her transit's flight's departure to Dubai for 10:40 p.m. this weekend. If you haven't been following it, this American woman who went to Pakistan was involved in a massive catfish saga that spread all over the web. And Robinson's presence in the country became a spectacle and a cause for concern for many who lived in the area where she resided for a time. Now, let me play the clip for you, and then I'll tell you how, you're probably thinking, how was there a catfish incident? What was going on? All right, here, let me see. Oh, Oh, Nija. Oh, they're gonna have a baby. Okay. Cool. Oh my God. You don't say. Okay, well, anyway, she did give up that easy. She's coming back to the United States. So this is the part of the story I hadn't realized that Ohanji had actually catfished the 19-year-old that she was over in Pakistan to meet. So she went over to Pakistan. She's in her like late 30s. She went over to Pakistan because she thought she was going to marry a 19-year-old. But the problem was that she actually had created a fake profile online. She presented herself as a blonde white chick. So when she got over there to meet the 19-year-old, he and his family were like, oh, hell no. They abandoned their house. They're missing in the country of Pakistan. They like gone into hiding. She decided to stay there since October and is now on her way back. So I have been loving this story. She will be back here in the United States. I wish I was in New York because she's from the New York area. I could be getting the exclusive interview. Someone is going to get an exclusive interview with her, and it's going to be amazing. But anyhow, it ends. We're not going to get any more press conferences with Ohanji in Pakistan. We're not going to get any more demands. She was going around telling government officials that she wanted $100,000 to basically fix up the dump. So she wanted to fix the homes, put pools in the backyard. Like, they didn't know what to think. They're looking around, go, "Who is this bitch? What's going on?" Anyhow, yes. So she catfished the 19-year-old. The 19-year-old was out, and now she's back. And by the way, her son, she apparently does have a son who says obviously she has bipolar disorder, and she was there, but I don't know. I was living for her. I was hoping they were gonna like allow her to stay. However, I think obviously better for her mental health that she came back here. They also say that she was receiving some mental health treatments in Pakistan, and hopefully those will continue in the United States when Ohanji comes back. Oh my God, what a legend. Thank you for your service, Ohanji. We love you. And come on the Sarah Fraser Show podcast. Thank you guys for all the hearts on the TikTok lines, the hearts, the badges. Yes. Give the gifts. Love, love, love. Okay. Love, love, love. So there we have it. She's on her way back. She's on her way back. All right. This week on the show, we have so much to get to. I'm finally going to be giving like a personal update too. There's been a lot going on in my personal life, which I haven't shared with you guys. Schmano and I are looking to buy a home. We've been home searching in California, which is depressing. So we've already been outbid on one house. We went to look at a second house, but it was right next to a cell phone tower and a Goodwill distribution center. Nothing against that, but I just didn't actually, I don't know, now I regret not making an offer on that house because every day it could be going over and getting like a new wardrobe. That was actually maybe I really lost out on that one. That, and of course, I want to pay tribute this week. I'm going to do a whole personal update on my uncle George, who was amazing, my uncle, who passed away suddenly. It's been 3 weeks since he had a massive heart attack, leaving the Metropolitan Opera in New York, and he died probably within 10 minutes, is what the emergency room doctor told me. But for you all that have followed me on Hot 99.5 and on the Kane Show for years and on radio, I talked about my gunkles forever. They've been in my life since I was in middle school and completely changed my life. So George Sneed, my uncle, will be so missed. He was just incredible and so talented and very funny. He was an interior designer in Stamford, Connecticut. Just brought so much joy. He was on the Oprah show. He had done the Today Show with like Matt Lauer back in the day, redesigning. And George was one of the first people to go into people's homes and make over a room with existing things that you already had. So that was sort of his like claim to fame that he started. But yeah, it's been very hard. I don't know if you guys can relate to this. If you've ever lost somebody in your life and you almost didn't even realize how close you were to them or how much you, I don't know, maybe it's taking them for granted, I guess. I really, with George, I've been so sad the past 3 weeks because I'm like, wow, my best friend, one of my best friends, I'm never going to have dinner with. I'm never going to talk to again. And you all know I love David Yontef. I co-host with David Yontef weekly. And I went out to dinner with him and a couple of other gay guy friends. There were just 3 gay guys and myself. And it was so much fun and the laugh that I needed. But also it was so sad for me because I was like, I'm never going to have dinner with my favorite gay again. Like it was hard. It was, I know Georgie is in heaven with me, but I got some really nice messages from you guys this past couple of weeks. Just like, oh, we remember the stories of how you lived with them for a period of time and they like wouldn't let you leave the house and run the dryer at the same time. They were always like terrified. They had this weird rule when I stayed with them that you couldn't like put laundry in the dryer and leave the house because the house could catch on fire. Like, does anyone abide by that rule? I don't know anybody that does that. But anyhow, and so many personal updates. We've been doing foster to adopt here in Los Angeles, and we're kind of because of George's passing and I'm dealing with his will and his estate. And I want to talk more about that because I want George's life to also be a lesson for people. It's been such a challenge dealing with his estate because he didn't have things in order. So I want to talk about that and give it as a warning to people. And also we might be putting our foster to adopt journey on pause because we're dealing with our own, egg donor situation. And also, I'm going to George's funeral in the next couple of weeks. So it's just a lot that's been going on personally. And I feel like with all the Baldoni and Blake Lively stuff and then Sister Wives nonstop, I really haven't had a chance to do a proper like personal check-in show. So that's coming this week. David Yontef, of course, will be joining some special guests. We'll see what breaking news that we have from the Baldoni camp and Blake Lively camps this week too. So Stephanie says, yes, always turn off your dryer. What? Do people really not leave the house without a dryer? Okay, I leave the house all the time with the dryer on. Do people really stay home when the dryer's on? Really? And then Ashley goes, what's wrong? What's bad about a cell phone tower? I don't want to live near a cell phone tower. I feel like, is a cell phone tower safe for you to live next to? This cell phone tower was literally, you could be sitting in the backyard and you were looking, it was well disguised by a tree. Well, it was like made to look like a tree. This was the house that we were looking at. But I'm like, I don't want to live underneath a cell phone tower. I was Googling that and it said, it's perfectly fine. And you'd have to be like standing at the top of it where it like radiates cell energy. But I'm like, I don't think I want to be anywhere near a cell phone tower. Oh my God, people are really saying that they don't leave their house with the dryer running. Yes, lint fires from dryers are a very real thing. Never leave it running while you're out. Oh my God. Cell phone towers are so bad for your health. Okay, Teresa, thank you. I'm like, okay, I see this cell phone tower at this house. This house just sold, by the way, for like 1.3 million or something. And I'm like, I said to my husband, there's no way we're spending that money and living next to a cell phone tower. No, absolutely not. Anyhow, okay, rant over. Yeah, no, not into the cell phone tower. All right, love you guys. I hope you enjoyed the Super Bowl more than I did. Like I said, not really a fan. Okay, yeah, nothing to say here. Okay, commercials sucked. Kendrick Lamar was up, nah. And the Eagles won. There you go. All right, bye everybody.